gin pole as part of the matching system. And as you can see here, that's the main antenna, and this one here is the gin pole. It's standing up vertically right now. They're strapped together at the bottom, and then on the back side there's another length of a 2-inch pipe at the top of the gin pole, give me about 20 feet of linear loading. At the bottom I used a matching coil just to get the impedance right on the 50 ohm mark. We in the 6 microhenry range right now, right. And there's a tap farther down on it to the feed line. We used a piece of surplus microwave feed line 50 ohm heliax, which most people would kill for, as a feed line, which is about 400 feet long back to the station. Whereas the ground conditions here up in northern Quebec are mostly sandy and rock and not very good grounding, so we thought it'd be easier to use elevated radials. They're about 8 feet up. We just made these 1x2 spruce wood, and just made little bipods out of it.
So how many did you put up? How many radials?
Just 4 radials, and as you can see there's 3 bipods per radial to hold them in the air.
And what direction did you choose?
They were basically southeast, south. This one here runs more or less east and west, and runs out the side. There's nothing we can get on 160 over the pole, so basically we want to head towards the U.S., eastern seaboard and central U.S., so that's the direction we didn't bother putting one out to the north. For 2 reasons. One is the Aurora to the north just wipes us right out, and secondly our foursquare for 160 meters was on the north side of this antenna, so there was no point in really trying to shoot through that. Spacing is too close in this area. We just didn't need a bigger space. If we're going to do real low band stuff, we need a huge amount of space to lay out the antennas and separate them enough so they don't cause any interference with each other.
In 2003, the lorry park looked a completely different place, mainly due to the lack of snow cover. Antennas and the layout was different. In addition to the 160 and 80 meter band antennas, a foursquare for 40 meters was erected in the same area. The top band vertical was positioned near the entrance. The 80 meter verticals were towards the middle, and the 40 meter foursquare was positioned at the bottom of the area. The top band vertical was 6 feet shorter this year, with a length of wire connected at the top for matching purposes and to modify its radiation pattern. Ground level radials were used rather than the previous year's elevated system. These benign looking radial wires gave a serious problem during the contest, as we shall see later. It must be remembered that 3LF antennas like these need to be treated with respect, especially considering that each will be fed with kilowatts of RF power. Two-phased verticals, again with an extensive brown radial system, was erected for 80 meters. The phasing between the verticals being controlled by this box. The third LF antenna in the lorry park was for 40. In both 2002 and 3, a foursquare antenna was used. The good weather conditions in 2003 allowed this complicated antenna to be assembled in under a day. That assembly time even allowed for the radials to be set out. Each of the 4 verticals had 2 sets of guy ropes. Each of the 33-foot verticals were fed from a control box in the center of the array. The box was controlled from the shack via a control cable, and the RF was fed over a distance of 400 feet by heliax. On the other side of the camp, a secondary antenna for 40 meters was slung up between some trees. We added a 70-foot reflector some 20 feet behind the halfway dipole. Additionally, the reflector was placed some 15 foot higher than the dipole. This had the effect of lowering the angle of takeoff to make maximum use of the expanse of water in front of the antenna, and it worked. The majority of antennas for the HF bands were the same on both occasions. Here is the 3-element monobander for 20. The 4-element for 15. And the 5-LE for 10 meters. So let's have a look inside to see how the stations are working. Firstly, 10 meters.
Here's Canada. Victor Baker to Canada. And having any problem working a lot of US, but they're not hearing us.
And now from Stan AC6W over to Dennis NB1B on 15 meters.
That's a QSL, Zone 2, you're 5 and 5. See you then.
From Dennis we move up the corridor to the 20-meter team, known as the Czech Mafia.
European.
Calling hello CQDX 20 meter band.
He doesn't preach.
This is Victor Bravo 2 Charlie, Victor number 2, Victor Bravo number 2 Charlie, Victor Bravo 2 Charlie.
With 20 meters working, now on to 40 meters.
To northern Quebec, West Kagamish, go ahead.
Okay, my name is Riley, and we're located near Edmonton. And you've got a minute and 30 seconds before everything gets going here. Show your good luck in the chest. They find UA stroke 6.
Yes, okay, thanks a lot, and good luck in the contest. This is Golf 3 Sierra X-ray Echo stroke Victor Echo 2.
From 40 over to the 80-meter station, and Carl running the last checks before the start of the contest.
So anyway, how's our audio sound and everything else? Go ahead.
Hi, signal, Carl. Beautiful, nice audio. Not real sharp, maybe towards a little off-center from the base to the basey side, but it sounds good, Carl. Nice signal.
Yeah, okay, very good, Bill. Well, we'll just see how things go. And
in a room across the corridor from 80 meters, we find the top band station.
83Y Mobile BBs2C. How you doing, Larry? Hear them here. Oh, okay. So you're going to work the contest from...
And some operators have a really cushy life.
Just resting up in these last 5 minutes before the contest.